What's up, everybody? Alright, so today we're going to do something fun. It's a video I've wanted to make for a while. And what happened? I had medication on the bottom of the 20-gallon, and then I picked it up and stained for life. Never coming off. Alright, so the video I've always wanted to make, and now I'm going to. We're going to talk about brand new tank setup. Okay, just went to the store or got on Craigslist or Facebook or wherever you bought your tank. Actually, before you bought your tank, we should have thought about something. What do we want to keep in it? In my case, I'm going to be keeping electric blue rams, Bolivian rams, and German blue rams. Plan on breeding them in this tank, so I have to set it up accordingly. So knowing that I want those specific fish and the number of fish that I'm going to keep in this tank, I'm going to use a 38-gallon tank. This is kind of an old tank, but I've resealed it recently. It's a 38-gallon. If you guys look in my previous videos, the one that went boop, and resealed it, got it good to go, water tested it, it's ready. So we're going to go ahead and use that tank to breed the rams with. So the first thing you need to consider is what fish am I going to keep. If you're going to keep an Oscar, you need a 125-gallon tank. If you're going to keep tetras, you probably need like a 10-gallon plus, just depending on the number of tetras you want to keep. If you're going to keep a beta, I recommend a 5-gallon tank, but some people use 2.5-gallon tanks. I've seen them in little fish bowls. Don't do that to your poor little fish. Betas need heaters. Betas need filtration. They don't just breathe air. It just doesn't work that way. Another thing that about a fish bowl, little bowl, don't put any goldfish in it. One goldfish needs a 40-gallon tank, and each additional fish that you add to that, you need another 20 gallons. So let's be reasonable when we're keeping fish. If you have a 20-gallon tank, it's no problem. You can keep some really cool fish. For instance, really cool fish being like shell dwellers, stuff like that. I mean, it's different. Not a lot of people have them, and they're so much fun to watch. So anyway, just keep that in mind as before you buy your tank, okay? So in my case, 38 gallons is gonna house my little rams, and I'm gonna be able to breed them in there, and that's the whole point of me setting this up, is to start breeding my German blue rams, electric blue rams, and Bolivians. So let's start with the tank, and then we'll go from there. He's pretty big. So next thing we need to consider after we've got our tank is, what is our tank going to sit on? In my case, sitting in this nice big huge cabinet. It's going to work out. Tank's 3 feet long. I think it's 16.5 tall and like 18 wide, or depth. So alright, so we've got our 30-gallon tank. Two things we need to consider right now before we do anything else is the filtration we're going to use and the stand that it's sitting on. You need to make sure that your stand can withstand the weight. Okay, in this case, I'm good. This is extremely thick wood that I've got in here, and this is going to be able to hold this tank, no problems. And then the next thing is the filtration. Okay, I've got 38 gallons. Let's just call this a 40-gallon tank. If I have a 40-gallon tank, I'm going to want to run 80 gallons worth of filtration. So if you buy an Aqua Clear 40, for instance, I don't just want one, I want two. In this tank, I'm going to be running a 75-gallon sponge filter, and then I've got this little filter thing that does like 10 gallons or something like that, that I'm going to be hooking on the side just to generate water, get water moving around it, so it's not just stagnant and sitting there and I have one thing just bubbling. You always want water movement. If you're not moving your water, you're not filtering much, because you're just going to be filtering that, and you're not going to filter the whole thing. So you got to make sure that you have water traveling around the tank. Okay, so next two things you need to consider is, what's it going to sit on and what kind of filtration am I going to use. those two you're going to need right now to get this thing cycled, and we're going to go through that process too here in a minute. And my next step, since I already have the filtration, is I'm going to get my substrate down, and in this case I'm going to use sand. You have several options, guys. You can use pebbles, rocks, there's all different kinds of sand that you can use. Just research, and then go from there. So right now, let me get the sand cleaned up, and I'm going to get in there, and I am using pool filter sand for this, just so you know what's going in it. And I'm going to get that cleaned out and then get it in the tank. Alright, so once you get all your substrate in, right down here, and put all your little decorations in. In this case, I have a couple filters. There's my sponge filter. That's an already cycled filter. I've been running it for about 2 months now. So that one's set, ready to go. If you do a sponge filter, you are going to need an air pump, which is that right there, to power it. And then you guys can see I've got this little filter. It came with another tank that I got. I'm just using it to circulate water, really. I'm not real crazy about the filter pads, I guess you could say, that come with these. I usually, when it's cooked, done, whatever, I take that out and then just fill this up with lava rock or polyfill or something, just to use it for a water clear. I'm not real crazy about these little pads. They do come with carbon in them and that kind of stuff. It's just great, but whatever. So the water's going to shoot out of here, come into here, and it'll circulate the water this way and that way. So it'll give me some nice circulation in the tank. If it's not enough, I'll add a power head or a wave maker or something like that to it. So just to keep things simple, inexpensive. These little filters aren't very expensive at all. An air pump, 40-gallon air pump, I believe they run like $22, somewhere in that area. And a sponge filter, these prices vary, but you can get one for a 75-gallon. They sell them for like a 60-gallon, 75, right in that range. I paid $8.99 for this one, but you can get them anywhere from $5 to $10, right in that range. So they're not very expensive at all. Just to keep your cost down. All the decorations you see in here are, they were overstocked in another tank, so I just kind of mix matched and put stuff in here. The pots I'm using, the bottoms and these here, this is just for my breeding. That's it. And the rams lay eggs on here. So that's it. The shark, that's my kids. The helmet, that's my kids. This thing that I had in the back came out of a 55. Decorations older than me, I think. So I added a couple little plants, stuff like that, just to kind of decorate things, make it look a little bit more like a fish tank and not like a breeding farm. So anyway, a few things that I want you to keep in mind are, number one, most important, is be patient. To cycle this tank, if I didn't have pre-existing filters, that kind of stuff, it's going to take me a minimum of 2 weeks. With the filter that I've got in here, I'm going to let this run for about 2 days, and then I'll start slowly adding fish. That's the next thing. You can't just buy a tank, buy a filter, throw all the fish in, and then expect them to live. It's not going to happen. You have to cycle your tank. Fish, when they poop, it creates ammonia when that poop starts to deteriorate. So that ammonia, when it gets to the bacteria, is going to turn into nitrites, and then you have a different kind of bacteria to consume that, and then their waste will turn it into nitrates. Nitrates we're going to get rid of by doing water changes. I'd recommend about 25% a week, which is about right here in this tank. If you want, you can measure the tank out. This is 16.5 inches. Let's just call it 16, and then if I wanted to divide that by 4, I'm doing about 4 inches of water, which is 25%. So just an idea, but the reason that you're doing your water changes is to get all, as much of the poop and stuff as you can off the bottom, number one. And number two, you want to cycle, or you want to kind of dilute your nitrates, which is, you're going to get a test kit. I'll show you here in a second. You want to use your test kit, test your water. There's additives you can do, like ammonia and bacteria, beneficial bacteria and ammonia. It just comes in a bottle. You're going to pour it in, that'll start turning around. You're going to start building bacteria in here. After your ammonia and your nitrites have leveled off, then we can start looking at adding fish. You know, if your nitrates are above 4.0, you're going to want to do that 25% water change we talked about. Get some dechlorinator, add the water back in. So just a few things to keep in mind. If you're still confused about the cycle, there's plenty of videos on YouTube about the nitrate cycle or the ammonia cycle, and cycling your tank. You can do a fish cycle. I hate it though, not my cup of tea. But again, you know, there's different ways to cycle your tank. I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I use fish food. I take and put a couple, you know, little pieces of fish food in there. The fish food goes into the tank. It basically decomposes, turns into ammonia, and then that starts our cycle. I've never purchased the ammonia bottles myself, and when I'm starting up a new tank like this, I mean, I could add fish immediately because I have cycled filters. I have everything cycled and ready to go. So boom, I can just ohm in and I'm ready. So if you do have more than one tank and you're getting ready to set up another one, you know, maybe about 10 days prior, take the filter that you're going to use for that new tank, stick it in there, and let that thing start cycling. Beneficial bacteria is going to grow a lot quicker in a tank that's established versus a tank that has nothing in it. So just a few things to keep in mind. Let me show you that test kit real quick, and then you know, we'll get you guys out of here, let you go. Education will be over. Yeah, sorry for the glare, guys, but just wanted to show you the fish that are actually going in that tank. See these electric blue rams, and where are the Bolivians? Where are you guys? They're all hiding from me. They're like, no camera from me. You can see my little German blue rams there. I've got a few of those in here. Your car back there protecting their babies. They get fry. Here's a Bolivian. Say hi, buddy. So I've got a few of these. So we're going to do an all ram tank. Should be exciting. You guys can see those Bolivians are gorgeous. Anyway, let's talk about this test kit. Alright, when you buy the API test kit, now I'm not real crazy about the strips, guys. They're unreliable. So if you can afford it, you know, try and avoid the strips. Get something like this. We were talking about nitrates a little while ago. You see 40 parts per million. We want to keep this somewhere around, you know, 5.0 to 10, right in that range. That's going to be a lot more safe for your fish. This just gives you different colors. It's going to come with vials and that kind of stuff. You know, you can test your pH. If you have a high pH range like I do here, I run about 8.2. 7.8 to 8.2, just depending on the tank. My South American tank here, this one runs in the lower spectrum, about 7.6. And then it's going to show you your ammonias, and then your nitrites, and then your nitrates. So when you look at the kit, sorry, you can have all these, sorry guys, you can have all these different bottles. You guys can see high range, all your pHs. Some of these you have to use 2 different bottles, some of them with 1. They'll come with the vials and everything to test your water in. So if you can, spend 30 bucks. I think these are like 30 bucks on Amazon, something like that, or eBay. It is really worth the money just to buy this kit. It's going to last you a long time. Really terrific. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching. You saw the tank build for these guys right here, the tank setup anyway. And that's where we're at. Appreciate y'all watching. Talk to you later. Oh, wait. If you guys have any questions, you guys want to post pictures, that kind of stuff, ask questions, check out Psychotic Aquatics on Facebook. You know, you can go on there, like the page, and I'm still trying to figure out how to work that Facebook page. I'm not real familiar with it yet, so I'll be looking for admins or moderators, that kind of stuff, to help me with it soon. So anyway, if you want to check it out, I'd appreciate it. Say bye, buddy. Say bye. Say bye. Oh, you waving? You're waving? Alright guys, talk to you later. Peace!